this lesson, we'll focus on interpreting graphs of proportional relationships. Today's goals: first of all, I want you to be able to understand the information given by graphs of proportional relationships. And second, I want you to be able to find the constant of proportionality just by looking at a graph. Let's review a little bit. How would you know that the relationship represented by the graph below is proportional? I hope you said that you're going to know because it's a straight line, and also it goes through the origin. I want you to note that every single ordered pair on this graph forms equivalent ratios. When interpreting a graph, you want to pay attention to the axes labels in the title because they tell you a lot about what's going on in the graph. So in this graph, I'll call it a snail's journey. Could you please interpret what does the point 45 tell us in this situation? I hope you said a snail can crawl or travel 5 feet in 4 minutes, or it takes 4 minutes for a snail to crawl 5 feet. All right, I'm going to give you the exact same graph, but this time I have different labels in it. So in this graph, what does the point 45 tell us? All right, this one tells us you mix 4 teaspoons of cinnamon with 5 cups of yogurt to make this dip. All right, I've added a table with this graph, and I want you to figure out what equation represents this relationship. And when you figured out the equation, I want you to notice, where do you see k, which is the variable that we use to represent the constant of proportionality? Where do we see that in the table, the graph, and the equation? So your graph and table both would be represented by the equation y equals 5/4 x, because we always multiply x by 5/4 to get the value of y. You could also write this as y equals 1.25x. And when you're looking for the constant of proportionality, it's always going to show up as the value of y when x equals 1. So you can see it in the ordered pair 1 5/4. You can also see it as the coefficient of x in your equation. All right, that constant of proportionality, 5/4, could you please interpret what that means in this situation? All right, 5/4 is your unit rate, and it means a snail travels 5/4 or 1.25 feet per minute. And how about the yogurt graph, the fruit dip? What does the constant of proportionality mean here? Right, hopefully you note that the recipe calls for 1.25 cups of yogurt for every teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, the unit rate. All right, our 2 big ideas today. First of all, I want you to be able to interpret points on a graph and know what they mean. And second, the y value that goes with the x value of 1 always shows us the constant of proportionality in every proportional graph.